Hey everybody, this is Julene Tegerstrand, and I am just wanting to welcome you to World Religions 2018. I'm going to put this PowerPoint on the screen so you can see it. Um, so this is probably not what you expected on your first day of class for World Religions, and I totally get it. But I'm going to let you know, you're probably wondering, like, what in the world is Julene doing on a video form and not with us in the present? So I'm going to let you know that and a whole lot more. Hopefully this video will serve as a great introduction to kind of where we're going this semester, and I will be with you on Friday. So I'm sure there may be questions that come up as this video goes, but this really was going to serve as our introduction to the class. And the hope is that we can put this up on Moodle, or at least have a link to Moodle when the class is over. So we're going to first start off, I just want to give you kind of the agenda for today of what we're going to do. First of all, I'm going to tell you about where I'm at, why I'm not with you in person today. And then just want to tell you a little bit about myself. And then I'm going to introduce like why you are in this class, besides you have to be, right? And then I'm just going to go through some of the significant aspects of the syllabus that I think you'll want to know. Yeah. And then we'll finish up with just a little bit of homework for Friday. So it'll be a light week, which is good for all of us, right? So let's begin with my just letting you know where I'm at today. So as you guys are getting ready, for this class today at 9:05, I am also in a class. I've been in a 6-day, very intensive course called Engaging Conflict, Reflective Structured Dialogue, and the Inner Resource of the Facilitator. And it's been at Harvard Divinity School, started last week. And so today is the very last day of this class. And so I'm in class all day from 9 to 6. And so that's where I'm at. And yeah, I look forward to meeting you guys on Friday and hope that this video serves you well. And hopefully you'll get to benefit from some of what I've been learning in the next 6 days. I also want to take this time as kind of a commercial break. I want to actually offer a shameless plug. There is still time to sign up for a class that I'm offering this semester. It's on Tuesday nights from 6 to 9 p.m., so it's a block class. And the reason why is because it's going to be a very experiential class. There will be some lecture, but the goal of the class is actually to be practice-oriented. So it's technically the class is under Issues in Mission, but actually it's the pilot class for one of our first intercultural studies classes that will be coming online. The major of intercultural studies will be coming online officially next fall. But so this class is our pilot intercultural dialogue class, which is very much connected to where I've been this week in this course at Harvard Divinity School. So let me just tell you a little bit about it, because I'd love to have a handful more students in it. And if this is of interest to you and you had room in your schedule or thought it could work for you, I'd love to have you. So the purpose of the class is to introduce students to intercultural communication, also to develop nonviolent communication skills. There's skills such as learning how to really listen to one another, to gain empathy, to learn something about conflict transformation, like how do you take conflict and actually engage it and use it for the good of everyone, including yourself. There'll be decision making, that's a part of nonviolent communication. And then also there's going to be skills that students develop that will help them engage others around difference. Like how do you engage people when there is conflict or when there is differences that divide us, which is such a problem right now in our country, right? So this class really is going to help students learn not only skills to communicate themselves, but also how to facilitate dialogues amongst, whoever it is, like whether it's your peers or in the workforce when you get out there or in ministry. So the class, I'm excited about it because there's going to be two opportunities for two different people to come in who are professionals in the field, and they're going to be kind of bringing us through some practices and teaching us some skills. And then also we're working with Robert Benjamin, and we're going to do a long day trip to New York City to see a play. So I'm really excited about it, and just thought I would take this time to just let you know it may be something that you're interested in. And if you are, just email me and would love to talk to you more. So all right, enough of that. Let's move on. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been here at ENC. This is my 4th semester. So I'm originally from California. I spent 7 years in Idaho, and so I love the outdoors. And a year ago, December 31st, I got married. And my husband here in the picture is Stephen Michael. And I hope you'll get to see him around campus. We actually live between here and near Philadelphia. And so he spends time here and I spend time there. And so when he's around, we're usually in the cafeteria, and he sometimes comes to class and participates in some ways. So just if you see him around, he's become affectionately known as Mr. Julian, but you can call him Stephen Michael. And also, speaking of names, you can call me Julene if you are comfortable with that. Otherwise, Professor Tegerstrand is just as good. So it's really up to you. You can choose Julene, Professor Tegerstrand. I am comfortable with either of those. So as you can see from these pictures, I love the beach, I love the mountains, and in the middle, this picture you may not know, but I got to go to a lecture with some ENC students at Harvard this last fall. We saw Brian Stevenson. So I love learning and the outdoors. So, all right, we're going to move right along here. And this is kind of the nitty gritty, right? So what in the world is this course, World Religions? Well, this course, as you are well familiar with, is part of the Cultural Perspectives sequence at ENC, which just means it's a part of the general education requirements, right? So yeah, you have to take this class to graduate. It is a part of not only the Cultural Perspective sequence, but really I hope this class will be something that will set a groundwork for how you will relate to people of different religions, or just that it will help inform you of some of their beliefs and practices, so that when you go out in the world, you at least have some kind of a grounding to engage others and people, particularly of religious difference. So we're going to look at historical understandings and practices of these major belief systems in the world. Your book does a really great job of looking at the pre-modern historical period, the modern historical period, and the postmodern period. And there's a lot of reading in the book. I will be asking you guys to do a lot of that reading. And then the classes will, like the lectures that you come to, will be highlighting what I think is important, and will often focus too on some of the beliefs and practices of the different religions. Something else is this course is really a survey course. We are going to be looking at 7 different major traditions, and we spend so very little time on each tradition, so it really is just a taste of these different traditions. We could spend a whole semester on each tradition. We could spend, many semesters on each tradition. And you also might look at the list that's here on this PowerPoint and go, wow, there's some religions there or there's not some religions there that I wish were there, like Mormonism or Seventh-day Adventist, and other religions. And so what I would want you to know is that I've chosen on purpose to have the religions that are the older religions, the truly world religions. Some of the religions that are not on this list are some of the newer religions. So just FYI, we just could not do everything in one semester, and so I've had to make some informed choices. Probably the biggest thing for me in this class for you, knowing that, it's a GE class and I get that, I would just hope that you can walk away from this semester having gained some amount of appreciative knowledge about the people groups that we're going to be studying, that this knowledge will help you then engage people of difference, of different religious tradition and practices once you leave Eastern Nazarene College. So that kind of gets into why you need this course, and what's here on this PowerPoint is also in your syllabus. But essentially what it comes down to is I think you need this course, I need this course to help us become more hospitable to people. It goes right along with gaining what we'll call appreciative knowledge, but to be people who have an openness to the other. And one of the ways that people are different is religion. It's huge. And religion and culture go hand in hand. So as you were learning about these different religions, you're also going to be learning about different cultures. And so hopefully you will gain a sense of openness to or curiosity for these other traditions and people groups. And, it used to be 20 years ago that maybe you could have lived a life and not come into contact with people of different religious traditions. And this class may not have been as necessary as it is today, but today, probably no matter what sector you work in, whether it's a religious, whether in your Christian ministry or you're a business major or a science major or theater major. I know I'm missing a lot of your majors. Sports management, like you are going to encounter someone who is not of the same faith tradition. And so it's essential that you have some kind of a background to help you even know how to engage others. So that's what we're about. And then the last thing on this slide that I think is significant for us today is that this is not a comparison course to Christianity. You are going to be getting, well, you probably already have had courses, in Christian tradition and biblical literature at this school. So you've already had classes that are specifically designed to inform you about Christianity and scriptures, Christian scriptures. So we are not doing that in this class. This class will inevitably have me talking about Christianity because it'll just come up like making some light comparisons, but that's not the intention. And in fact, in the final project that you'll have, you're going to be asked to choose one of the 7 different traditions that we talk about in this course, and Christianity is not one of them. So you won't be able to, tap into that tradition or the Christian tradition for your final project. So I want you to take a deep dive into a different tradition. So I want to get into what the syllabus talks about. I know this is a really fun part, right? But let me tell you what 2 books are required. Hopefully you can see this. This is your main text, World Religions Today. This is the 5th edition. I am aware that there is a 6th edition now out, but for right now, we're just using the 5th edition. And there have been students that have been able to get the 4th edition, I think it is, and that would be fine. It should work fine. The only difference there is there might be quiz questions or even some of the test questions that are directly related to the 5th edition, but frankly, I don't think it's made a big difference for students that have had the 4th edition, but you could ask around and see if anybody noticed a difference. The second book that you're going to need to have access to is this little text called the Primary Source Readings in World Religions. And the way we're going to use this is instead of having you buy a Quran or the Tao Te Ching from Taoism or the Confucian classics or whatever it is, I'm just having you get this little text that you can get even used for pretty cheap, because in it has a variety of different primary texts and some thoughtful questions that you'll be addressing in some classwork. So you'll want to make sure you have access to both of these texts because they'll be essential for particularly your exams and for in-class assignments. So those are the two books. Here in your syllabus, you can see just kind of the breakdown of the points. There's 1,000 points for the semester, and I'll go into a little bit more detail in some of these categories, but just for now, I would say for the attendance, it's 10% of your grade. You'll do 5% for the first half of the semester and the rest at finals. But we'll be taking attendance, passing a sheet around, you'll sign in. Most days, some days you'll turn in an assignment. But I'm not just looking for a warm body in a chair. I'm looking for a sense of presence and that you are, you're participating. You're in the small groups. When I put the students in small groups, you're not just sitting in the back of the room with your head on the desk or in a computer or something, but that you're engaged. And when I ask a question, that you really want to participate. So I'm really going to be looking for your engagement. That's kind of the big word for this class, engagement. We'll be talking about all the other things, but I would say as a student, you should be looking at what the point value is, and that might help you know how to gauge where to put your energy. So like for instance, the assigned reading is really important, but if you don't do it all, it's not going to hurt you too much, right? But if you don't do the final term project, then you're really going to be hurting, right? So you might want to look at, how the points are allotted and kind of allow that to gauge, how you kind of gauge your time for the semester. All right, so speaking of assigned readings, so you will have assigned readings most nights, and you can see that in your course calendar in the syllabus. And the way we're going to work this is you are going to on your honor, write down on in the syllabus is it's a form, and you can also get this on Moodle. It's essentially a schedule. You're going to keep record of all the readings that you've done. And using the honor system, I will have you turn in your reading report at each exam. So you will turn in over the course of the semester 4 different reading reports. And on that reading report, you'll just say, I've read all the reading by the assigned date, or I've read all the reading by the day after the assigned date. And so then you'll get 75% of the points for that reading, and then it goes from there. So you'll want to make sure that from day to day that you're marking this down on your reading report, and then on the exam day, you bring that report to class and you'll turn it in with your exam. So it'll be 25 points or up to 25 points for the reading that you've done. So I encourage you to do the reading because it's easy points, right? If you do the reading, you get the points. The next thing that we've got is chapter quizzes. And you're going to find these on Moodle. So I definitely recommend that you get signed up on Moodle for the Spring 2018 World Religions course because you're going to need the information on that course page. And so there you'll find quizzes for each of the chapters related to the World Religions, or the World Religions Today book, this book. So the first chapter quiz will be the 24th. And these are open book quizzes. They're the kinds of questions that you will be finding on the exams. And you're going to have 60 minutes to complete. So once you start the quiz, you'll have 60 minutes to do it. And then whatever you finish in that time period will count towards your grade. Now, I would recommend that you somehow record some of the information that you're finding on those quizzes, because once you take the quiz, you can't go back into it. So if I were you, I would use your phone. I'd take pictures of the questions. That's fine. Do whatever you need to do to kind of hold on to that information so that it can be a study guide for you once you are preparing for the exam. That'd be a really good practice. During the course of the semester, each of you will be a part of a group that offers a presentation in class, and this is worth 10% of your grade. This is a larger class this semester. I think we're about 55 students-ish. I'll see probably on Friday what it really is, but next week we're going to be selecting groups, and you'll have some choice in this. Basically, I'm going to be picking names out of a hat, and you will be able to choose, depending on when your name is chosen, which religion you would like to take a deep dive in and do a class presentation on. And then you'll get to choose one other person to join you. So you might be thinking about, what would be your first choice religion to study out of the religions that we're studying in class? And what might be your second choice? And then who might be people that you would like to be in a group with? Because you'll have some choice depending on, when your name is pulled. You're going to get specific instructions, and I'll be giving you actually your presentation is going to be on a part of a chapter. So if you're doing Judaism, your group will have one half of the chapter to present on, and then there'll be a second group on Judaism that will present on the second half. And I'm going to give you specific page numbers and topics that I want you to cover. And there's going to be more information coming about what this is, but for now I want you to think about what religion you have maybe more of an inclination towards studying, and who would you want to work with, because we'll be selecting that next week. Exams. There are going to be 4 exams this semester. They're all multiple choice, fill in the blank, true-false questions. The exams are not cumulative. So you will not have a final exam in the sense of a cumulative final in this class. In fact, in this spring semester, if the weather is well and we don't have too many missed days because of weather, the plan at this point is to have the 4th exam on the last Wednesday of the last week of class. And so that means that seniors, you will take all 4 tests. Now, and this is to your benefit, actually. I know seniors are probably going, oh man. So you'll take 4 exams, and I'll tell you a little bit more about the grace in this after. I really want you to see at the bottom of this slide, it says that it has a link, and that link is also on Moodle. But this is really important, so I don't want you to miss it. Oxford Press, which is the publisher for this book, they have a website for students. It's a resource website, and on that you will find practice quiz questions, and this is essential for your studying of the exams, because all of your exams will be book exams, and also they'll be covering the lectures too. But you'll find the greatest help through, in terms of a study guide, through this website. I think students who have used this website have done the best on the exams. So that's just kind of a side point. You want to make sure you have that link. So there's not going to be any study guides that are given for these exams, because you're going to have the chapter quizzes that you'll be taking. You've got the World Religions Today website to use. Also, after each lecture, at the beginning of the next lecture, I will be giving you a practice quiz that kind of helps review what we did, but also it's a way of saying this is what you really need to remember. So that's my way of providing kind of a study guide, is through those avenues. So you want to just really pay attention in class and pay attention to what I'm highlighting, particularly in those quizzes, practice quizzes. And then this is the part that I was getting into earlier. So you're going to be taking 4 exams, but you're going to have an opportunity to drop your lowest score. So that's why your exams are worth 300 points if you're a traditional student, and 225 points if you're an honors student. So actually the exams are worth less if you're an honors student. We'll get to that. So you can drop your lowest score, but there is a but, or an if in this. You're not going to be able to just bomb a test and get like a 0 on a test, but you're going to have to study for all of them, because you can only drop a score if your lowest score is within 20% of your next lowest score. So if you get a C and then you get an F, well, let's just say it this way. If you get a 70%, but then you get 30%, and 30% is your lowest score, and the next lowest is a 70%, the 30% is going to count. So you are going to want to study, but there is just this leeway of saying, hey, if you just bomb a test, even though you studied, then it's going to be dropped, and so your ultimate grade won't be affected by it. So you'll sit for all 4 exams. You must sit for all 4 exams, but one will be dropped as long as you do well enough on all of them. If you've got any questions about that, I'm happy to field those on Friday. So most of you know that there's an opportunity in world religions to take this class for honors credit. And I must say that this is probably the best part of the whole class. It's this opportunity to take 4 visits, one to a synagogue, a mosque, the Vedanta or the Hindu Society, and then the Buddhist Meditation Center in Cambridge. We get to meet really amazing people. So I just highly recommend if you can do the honors to do it, because it really is an opportunity to gain appreciative knowledge in a relational way, not just a book way. So those of you who decide to do honors, you will be, instead of your exams being worth 300 points, they're actually only worth 225 points because you've got this assignment. You will be spending time out of class going on these class trips, which there's 3 out of 4 of them you have to do. And then for each of those 3 trips that you do, you'll need to complete a vlog, a video log, and there'll be instructions for how you're going to need to do that and what I'll expect. You can do it this semester, you can do it as a solo, do your video log as a solo, or you can do it in a pair. So I just can't speak high enough of this part of the class, and I'm going to limit the honors track in this semester to 15 students. It's usually 10, but we have a little bigger class. So if you are interested in signing up for honors, you can go to the registrar's office and you can get this little slip of paper, and you're going to get out of the traditional world religions class and you're getting it into the honors world religions class, and you'll need my signature in order to do that. And so on Friday, if you bring me that slip of paper, I can sign it. So you'll be kind of in the honors part of the class. And then I'm just going to talk a little bit about just what you need to know, some of the course policies that are significant. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the most important thing that I want you to know here is that all of your assignments, unless stated otherwise, need to be submitted electronically, and they need to be submitted through Moodle. So there'll be instructions on that and all the assignments, but it's really important that you don't email me your assignments. Even if something happens wrong with Moodle, be patient with me. You can email me, hey Jalene, Moodle's not working, because sometimes it doesn't, but I'll fix it, and then you can turn in your assignment. So please communicate with me through email, but do not email me your assignments unless I specifically tell you to, because too many assignments can just get lost, and my preference for me as well as for your sake is that assignments are just collected in Moodle. So please help me out with that, and I'll do my best to make sure that Moodle is up and running so that it's an ease for you. And then I would also say that I know that a lot of us are using Apples, and if you are using an Apple, that's great. If you use Pages or I forget what the PowerPoint is, the PowerPoint version, but if you use the Apple suite, then please with Pages save that document as a Word format, and then save the presentation software into the PowerPoint format, so that I'm able to, when you upload it to Moodle, I'm able to actually download it and read it. And then please, when you save any document and upload it to Moodle, make sure that you save your name in it. Because when I download your document, it doesn't necessarily have your name in it. So please save anything that you turn in with me, name it, your name, and what it is. That will really help me out. Regarding late work, this always is, a question. So it's expected that you turn in your assignments on time before class begins on the due date that's published. Like, that's the expectation. And I also know, stuff happens, right? And I get it. Stuff happens for me too. So there is a 24-hour grace period where there will be no penalty to your grade. If something's due on the 24th of January, you've got until the 25th of January, 24 hours after. If it's 2 days late, there'll be a 5% penalty, and it goes from there. And there is actually a typo on this slide. If it's 7 days late, it's not 30%, but it's 50% or off the top. So, if you turn in a week late, the highest you could get out of a 100-point assignment would be 50 points. So you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping up with those deadlines, and know that there is some grace, but once after a day, there'll be penalties for that. But you can still turn it in, and I would suggest that you do, even if you're late. Now, this is a policy that is not very popular with students, and I get it, very much get it. But I do not allow electronic devices in class, so you're not allowed to use your tablets, your laptops, your cell phones. So I will be posting PowerPoint slides after class, after the classes end. So you will have all of my PowerPoints to study from. So you are invited to take notes by hand, and I request that, I get that you'll have your cell phones, but they have to be silenced, and they need to be in a bag or just not visible to me in class. So just don't even bring them or don't have them out. And I know that if you are someone that there's a particular difficulty or a particular learning need, I would ask that you email me or talk to me after class on Friday, and we can discuss what some of the needs are and see how to go from there. But I've just found, particularly in this big class, that the devices can be not as helpful as I want them to be, and so therefore they are not allowed. So for this hour of class, we won't have electronic devices. In some of my other classes we do, but not in this world religions class. We'll just have a few more things here, but I really encourage you to review Moodle to make sure you're signed up and in on that. This is going to be where you turn in all your assignments, unless I say otherwise. I'm also going to use Moodle to make announcements, so this will be where you get information from me. Like I said earlier, I will upload PowerPoints here. And also, this is where you're going to get your grades, so your exam grades will be uploaded here, and all the other grades as well. So if you're not on Moodle yet for this class, please make sure that you sign up for it. And if you have a problem getting on it, let me know. So, homework for Friday. Basically what I would ask is that you would go to Moodle and review it, that you would download the reading report, so you've got a copy of that, so that as you begin reading in this next week, that you're keeping track of it. And for Friday, there's just a little bit of reading. I'm going to have you read in this textbook, pages 3 to 17. And then I would like for you to review the final project information that is in the syllabus, because we will be talking about that, I know, on the second day of class. We're going to be talking about the final project, because there are going to be many assignments related to that all throughout the semester, and so you're going to want to begin thinking about that right away. And then I just really encourage you to think about whether or not you want to participate in the honors track. And if so, go ahead and go to the registrar's office and get an assignment or get a, a piece of paper. So one last thing that it is, I think I did put it in the syllabus, there are opportunities for extra credit in this class. Generally, they're going to be offerings where you're going to have to find ways of connecting with people who are of different traditions, and so there's an explanation in the syllabus. However, there is an opportunity coming up next week. We're going to have a race and culture guest on campus who's going to be giving a lecture on Thursday night at 8 o'clock. It'll be in Wally, and like where the chapel is. And also on that Saturday from 9 to noon, there is going to be a workshop that's going to have to do with racial bias, or just like a dialogue around issues related to race. The gentleman that's coming was on the ground in Ferguson. He actually was a part of how ENC went to Ferguson last year as a fusion trip. He's incredible. I mean, he's a friend of mine as well, so I definitely have a bias, but I think he'll be provocative in what he talks about in a good way. And so I am going to be offering, like if you come, extra credit for that, and so we can talk about that on Friday if you're interested. Yeah. So that's it. That is at least the introduction for world religions. So I look forward to meeting you on Friday, and we'll go from there. So I hope you have a really good first day of class and a good rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday.